Oh, hi! These are good wheel cylinders.
Yes, they are. Such a good wheel cylinder, aren't you?
Oh, yes! Stop! Good wheel cylinders. Bad wheel cylinders. Let's fix that here on the Yankee Auto Systems. And so, I'm going to hope that today's episode of the Volunteer Build series here on the Yankee Auto Systems is going to be a quick and short one. It's straightforward. I just have to replace wheel cylinders on the car. There's not really anything else that I'm planning on doing today, so let's just hope that today is quick and easy. Well, yeah, but you say that all the time. I know I say that all the time, but I get carried away. What are you going to do about it? That's what I thought. Let's go ahead and get the car jacked up, get the time lapse set up, and get to work.
Let's go.
Alright, now that I've got the drums off on both sides of the vehicle, what I'm going to work on now is loosening all of the components that are related to the wheel cylinders. I like to do this first, as opposed to going ahead and taking, say, the mounting bolts or the brake line bolt all at once, because if I make sure that they're all loose first, I know that I'm not going to run into any issues that I wasn't expecting. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen all of the components first, and then remove everything. After I get everything loose, I'm going to work on winding down this adjuster. I don't have all of the tools I needed here today, just because I'm a big dummy. And I'm going to wind down the adjuster so that gives me the ability to leave the shoes on the backing plate and just have enough room to get the spring off and move the shoes away so that I can remove the wheel cylinder. Let's go ahead and get started. I did have to fight with the wheel cylinders a bit. I did end up taking the shoes off. It just made it easier. I was having issue with that adjuster working down. As I said before, I think they may have put Teflon tape or Teflon paint on it to keep it from moving. It's alright, just gave me a little bit of a headache. But now that I have the wheel cylinders off, what I'm going to show you guys is what I'm looking at and what I'm making sure of for fitment, make sure that everything's right. So it's kind of hard to find these parts for the Legends cars unless you go to, say, a Legends vehicle specific manufacturer or retailer. However, the thing is, they end up being like 2 or 3 times more expensive than they have to be. So there is a master file list floating out there of wheel cylinders and other parts that you can use for your vehicle. It basically just diverts down to the regular aftermarket, not sold through, you know, a Legends car retailer. So I ended up doing that. I got the wheel cylinders, and the wheel cylinder that came off, as far as the flange fitments, everything looks alright. The thread pitch on here looks alright too, so I'm hoping to be able to just reuse that brake line. The only difference is the wheel cylinder bore itself. This cup on the one that came off is smaller than the one that's going on. I don't think that's going to present an issue. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that's what I'm going with. I don't really think that the bore issue is going to be a problem. It might just give more of a clamping force and be a sturdier or stronger wheel cylinder, I guess, just because essentially you have more surface area on this cup inside of this wheel cylinder as opposed to the other one. That might present some issues with the brakes being kind of grabby or too tight, but honestly, I'd rather the brakes overperform on a car that's going to be on the road and not in my hands than underperform. So let's go ahead and slap everything. Well, not slap. We're not going to slap everything back together. Let's go ahead and put everything back together. Alright, so now that I have both rear wheel cylinders taken care of, it's time to jack up the front of the car, and I'm going to start trying to exchange some of this brake fluid. There's a lot of nasty brake fluid in there, so I'm going to try and suck it out through all the lines first. It's going to get airbound, but I'd rather get everything out that I can before I start putting new fresh fluid in. It's also going to help me to get the front brakes bled out as well. Now, this isn't going to be the final finishing point of my brakes. I'm still going to try and get someone to help me pressure bleed these, just so that 1, I can watch how they actually function, and 2, make sure that any air is out of the system. But while I'm here by myself today, I can at least use my brake fluid exchange machine and get the basic stuff done. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright then, mission accomplished. I got my rear wheel cylinders taken care of. I got most of the brake system bled out as best as I could. I had some issue with the front brakes. The left front brake caliper was actually hanging up. I had a pad that got mislodged. I had to fix that and figure it out, but I was able to correct that. As far as on the back of the wheel cylinders, I'm not able to get a whole bunch of fluid coming out of it. I've had it open trying to gravity bleed it for about 40 minutes, and I haven't gotten anything yet. So I think finalization of the brakes is going to have to wait until I have someone else here available to help me and lend their foot so I can get this pressure bled out and hopefully all of the brakes sorted for good. Thanks for making it to the end of the episode. Make sure to like and subscribe to New Yankee Auto Systems and follow us on all of our socials. We have Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Everything should be right here for you. And with that, see you on the next one.